But yeah, let's just move into just an overall Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
Let's just jump right into it. It seems like everyone's very excited to talk about it. I mean, just to continue where you guys left off, I'm just letting you guys know that you guys don't have to focus about the last movies.
So I guess specifically talking about this movie, I did like it a lot. For me, I like movies, specifically superhero movies that have like it had like a Deadpool type of feel. It was funny and it had serious moments and there was like plenty of action.
Minus the dark humor.
Like I like what you said. Guardians of the Galaxy feel.
It had a Guardians of the Galaxy Deadpool type of feel. So like, and I really do like because it keeps the audience like it's not all serious all the time. Although I do like serious movies like the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight, not Rises, just the Dark Knight trilogy. I like that a lot. That serious vibe is great. But like, this one just feels more fun. It's engaging and it's funny. I like to laugh and you get a mix of emotions while you're watching this movie. So I like that a lot. That's what I thought this movie brought to the table.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For this movie, I liked all the characters. The characters were fun to watch and like be around. Like, his best friend, his like chubby best friend was funny with the Death Star. Like you get to see him as like a high schooler. Yeah. And like you get to see the high school feel.
It felt like high school. It really did feel like high school.
Like the tension, like gym class where no one cares. Like I like that. It was fun. And then Lisa Lauren. Liz.
There it is. Liz.
I forgot her name. Yeah, she was like a fun character to see, and them on the beta team or whatever. That was fun to see.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that you pointed out like seeing everything in his high school life because Ryan earlier was saying like this felt like a movie that was developing Spider-Man, the hero Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
But you're still going back and saying like it feels like he's developing Peter Parker and like all his high school life. Yeah. I just think that this movie did a great job at balancing both and like giving us both. Yeah. Because I feel like I learned a lot about Peter Parker and a lot about Spider-Man. But I do definitely think that this was a good origin story for Spider-Man. Yeah. Even though we weren't finding out like, when he got bit by a spider and all that. I mean, it still very much felt like an origin story.
Yeah.
But something that you said earlier that I thought was interesting, you said that Spider-Man got his powers 8 months prior to this movie, the start of the film?
Yeah.
Well,
no, it wasn't.
Where are you getting that from?
I
don't remember.
Because like you go back to you have to go back like a couple more movies back to Civil War. Because like when Tony Stark then meets Peter Parker, like he's had his powers for 6 months at that point, and they mention that, and then when you like at the very beginning of this Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, they give a timetable where like they're showing the homemade film that Peter made, with like meeting Tony Stark, getting the suit and whatnot, and like some parts of the battle with the Avengers. Like right after that, they say 8 months later. Not 8 months later, 2 months later. So like that
was it 2 months later? I don't think it was just 2 months later.
2 months later.
Okay, I remember seeing 8 months later on the screen. I remember that being for the Vulture. After the Vulture like was doing his stuff.
That was 8 years later.
Oh, my bad then.
Yeah, because Vulture's 8 years later. Like that scene with the Vulture, like that has to do with like right after the first Avengers, the Battle of New York, and like it has to do with like he's a construction manager and he and his crew are hired to clean up all the mess of the like aliens and whatnot.
You get like a timeline when he moves to New York. Like you see when he starts doing all the camera stuff, they tell the timeline then because he's like in the car and he's getting escorted by Happy, and
I remember that.
Yeah, like that. I don't remember it
being. His friend also asked him like, "How'd you get your powers?" And he's like, "Oh, I got them like by a spider." And he's like, "When?"
They talked about like the biting by spider. I just didn't know of any timeline that was.
But I think you're right. I think it is.
I remember seeing the numbers on the screen, but I thought it was longer than 8 months.
No, it didn't seem that long. Like it didn't seem like years afterward.
Yeah.
I thought it was more than 2 months after Civil War, but I don't think it mattered. We just know he hasn't had his powers for a very long time.
Yeah. No, yeah, because when he drops him off in New York, they're like just coming back from that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but like.
And then they say 2 months later, and he has like all these text messages.
Yeah.
I was also more excited for Vulture, like than for any other villain for the other Spider-Man movies, because I guess it's not really a villain that's portrayed a lot.
Yeah.
So I was just excited to see it. Like it's something different.
And so cool. Like the Vulture's never been this cool before. It's just like this
it's
old,
like an old man.
It's like in this ugly bird costume. But he's like a fighter pilot. It's like, wow, this is an awesome character. How did you guys feel about the villain?
I liked it a lot. I liked him a lot. The twist that actually got me. Me and Jordan were actually talking about this earlier because we usually like are able to spot the twist, but the twist got us.
What twist?
I mean, we can just jump into it.
Huh?
Yeah, when
that he's her father.
When he was going to pick up Liz.
Yeah, I remember that.
Were you surprised by that as well?
Like, I was surprised by that as well. Like me and my brother like both looked at each other and we were freaking out as soon as we saw that. But I did like Vulture as a villain, and I feel like he's a really cool villain because like he had one of the most legitimate motives. Cause like
really,
because he's in a sense he's acting like Robin Hood, but he not really, but like at like the very beginning of the film, like he's hired to clean up all that construction stuff, like the separate contractor comes in and he's like, hey, we're taking over all this, and he's like, but I've already got all these people, I've already gotten all these trucks and whatnot, like this is all we have, this is like I have family to think about, like this is how we put food on the table, please don't do this.
Yeah, I feel like a Robin Hood.
Yeah, like you can sympathize.
No, I sympathize with him, but I wouldn't say Robin Hood, because when I think of Robin Hood steals from the rich to give to the poor, and he's stealing he's stealing from the rich to give to himself. Yeah, he's stealing from the rich to give to himself.
No, where's the giving people jobs.
He's giving
he's giving criminals jobs.
He's giving like 4 people jobs.
He didn't even have that many people.
Yeah, he doesn't have a crew anymore. He gave 4 people a job.
And I like how he says like, what I'm doing, Tony Stark is doing the same thing. Like I thought
that was smart. Yeah, that's true.
It is true, but my only problem is the Robin Hood thing.
No, you're right. Robin Hood was the wrong way to describe it. You're right.
But this might be an evil version.
Like, he sympathized with him.
I sympathize with him.
Yeah.
But he's not Robin Hood.
Okay, cool.
They also did give a foreshadowing to another villain, the Shocker. Do any of you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember the Shocker. It was weird.
Is the Shocker in this movie? Like,
he is.
2 Shockers were in this movie though.
Oh,
and like when they showed the first, go on, tell me how it's just one.
Because you're kind of right. The first guy, but like when he comes in, he's the guy that's like arrogant, doesn't take orders and whatnot. And Vulture says like you always swing this gauntlet around, keep calling yourself the Shocker and whatnot. Like you need to step in line, you need to learn to take orders. And that guy who originally called Shocker, he just mocked him real quick. He's like, all right, you like. And he said like he's getting cocky, and he said like, I'm out, I don't want to take orders from you. And then Vulture says, all right, you don't want to take orders from me, fine, you can get yourself out, you can see your way out. And he grabs the gun, aims at him, shoots him, and vaporizes him. That was a funny scene. Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, and then he just throws the gauntlet to the next guy and says, you're the Shocker now. So that's why I say there's one, because like the first guy who was originally supposed to be Shocker, you only saw like what?
Yeah, we only had like screen time, but like he was in the world existing as the Shocker. And even like if you're looking at the comics, his outfit in the movie had the same like color scheme as the Shocker, with like the yellow sleeves and everything. And then even the second Shocker, he somehow develops the yellow sleeves as well. I don't know like why that happened.
I mean, it might be because of like the gauntlet, because I remember one of the tidbits in the movie is saying like if you use it at full power, it'll fracture your arm. So that might be part of the thing. But like the reason I say there's only one is because like the very first guy who they said was Shocker, you get 2 minutes of him and then he's vaporized.
I kind of felt like he had more of a Shocker feel to him.
The second guy?
No, the first guy.
I don't know a lot about the Shocker.
I don't know that much about the Shocker either, but he just felt more villainous. Like the second Shocker feels like more of a sidekick.
Yeah.
The first guy's more careless too. I think the second guy...
I agree, but like he felt more like the Shocker is his own villain. You know what I'm saying? The second guy feels like a sidekick. Like
he's just following orders.
He's just following orders. Like the first guy felt like.
I mean, it also might be a development thing as well, because like you said in this one, he was more of a sidekick. But now that Vulture is locked up, he might try to step up to the plate. And you might see him as like one of the key villains in the next Spider-Man.
Yeah, maybe, but if the first guy were to break off at that moment. Like when he was saying like he was leaving the Vulture, if he were to like leave and then keep the weapon and then develop himself as a huge villain, that would be something. But this other guy, we know him as an underling to the Vulture.
Exactly, and not only that, there's a part in the movie where the guy was like, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm leaving. Or the second Shocker was like, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm leaving. You guys remember that scene?
I don't really remember.
So it was okay. So remember, he was talking about the air vacuum thing or whatever. They were gonna make that last run to rob the plane. Talking about the air vacuum. He came up and he's like, the FBI were waiting for us on the ship. I can't do this anymore. He has his bag packed. And the Vulture was like, hey, just one more run. This will be the last one. We'll be set. Okay. He was like, okay, I'll do it. So that's what I'm saying. He just doesn't feel like his own villain.
Like a follower.
He just feels like the other guy felt like he had potential to be. He had potential to be his own standalone villain. So
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. But didn't they foreshadow another villain in this movie called Scorpion?
Scorpion. I think at the end, the Hispanic guy. He had the tattoo on his neck too. And then there's also the Tinkerer. I don't really know much about him.
Where did they see? Where was he? Oh, that was the guy that was building all the stuff.
Yeah, the guy that's building everything. So
I don't know much about Tinkerer.
I don't know much about him either, honestly.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
But the second Shocker, switching to the second Shocker, a black character. There's a lot of diversity in this film.
There is a lot.
It was cool.
It was cool.
I know that's something that
interracialness. I couldn't believe it. It was shocking to see that, like, Liz's dad is, and then her mom,
Well, that's part of what made the reveal so
that's what, exactly.
I feel like there's still a lot of people that like question like the plausibility of that. Of like this girl looking black but having a white dad.
Yeah.
But like there are a lot of mixed people who just look black and you wouldn't tell that they have a white parent.
True.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like Halle Berry, you wouldn't know that Halle Berry is biracial, but she has a white parent.
I didn't think Liz wasn't biracial. I could see that she was biracial.
I guess when you say Halle Berry, you don't originally say it, but like once you say Halle Berry, you can see it.
Yeah, but I'm saying a lot of people would still like think that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Then our MJ.
Yeah, I like that. That was cool too. MJ isn't there.
And she's like a whole different personality.
Exactly.
I love
She was
her
hilarious.
personality.
She was hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah,
so
I think
relatable.
Like, but flipped him off as soon as he came in. That was hilarious.
She was so nice to him.
Yeah, exactly. She was like,
and it's like, oh
yeah. That was very funny.
Yeah.
I think it's significant that it takes place in Queens and you have all this diversity because that's like the most ethnically mixed neighborhood in like the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
And the Indian dude, the bully.
Flash.
Yeah.
Flash. Oh yeah, that was an interesting take too for Flash. That was a really cool take as well. He wasn't the meathead type of Flash. He was more. He was smart. You know what I'm saying? But he was just bullying Peter.
I don't know if this is true, but I remember reading a theory before the movie came out that the Flash is also supposed to be gay in this film too.
The Flash?
Flash.
But he took a girl.
Yeah, he took a girl to Homecoming.
That doesn't mean he's not gay.
Yeah.
Well, true.
You're right, but I didn't get.
I didn't get the vibe from the movie at all.
I didn't get a gay vibe.
Oh yeah, from the movie, no, but maybe in the sequel, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they'll develop that more.
I feel like there's a lot. Flash is kind of a minor character to really delve that into that much.
No, he's. I guess they're not doing Venom in this, but Flash is Venom.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, was he really?
They did do Venom in this one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think Venom needs to be done right, so I feel like...
I mean, they are making like a standalone Venom film.
That's gonna be trash.
But is Marvel doing it?
No, I think it's
no, that's gonna be trash. That's
no,
gonna be absolutely
garbage. I don't
garbage.
know that yet.
I know for a fact it's gonna be garbage.
Isn't that this year?
Next year.
That's next year? Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be awful.
It's really confusing. Why would you do that to like your audience? You have one Spider-Man movie, then you have Venom, and it's confusing. People can't realize what's.
I get you a lot.
I mean, at the same time, that same thing happened with like Fox Entertainment and the core Marvel, because like you have these standalone X-Men films, and
I don't know if that's the same thing.
And there's the discontinuity between like the Quicksilver and X-Men and the Quicksilver from like Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that's just gonna be garbage.
I mean that's
too in depth to be the same thing. Like you're having one Spider-Man and then another Spider-Man. I feel like that's just.
I don't think that Venom is going to have a
Spider-Man.
Quicksilver. I don't think that Venom is going to have a Spider-Man though.
So what? Who's going to save the day?
You're right.
Who's going to save the day?
You're right. He probably needs a Spider-Man. But see, my biggest problem with that movie is I feel like Venom doesn't need his own standalone movie.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the biggest Spider-Man villain. Right?
He is.
I don't know how Venom could exist without Spider-Man.
The Joker is the biggest Batman villain.
Right.
And the way they did Joker in The Dark Knight was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
They can do the same with Venom. They can do the exact same with Venom. They can build that. Like I said this on
didn't have a standalone movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's
like he doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's my argument.
Now I know what you're saying.
And I said this on one of the previous podcasts. Like for me, what makes a superhero movie really great is the villain. If you have a great villain, you have a great movie. You have a great movie. Mm-hmm. Venom is a great villain. If they put him in a Spider-Man movie and like develop him and make him the same way they did the Joker, we didn't really get a backstory for the Joker, but they did. The way they did the Joker was just that. I feel like they could do the same. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need his own standalone movie. Yeah. He could be in a Spider-Man movie. You just have to do it right.
Then does any villain really need a standalone movie?
No.
Like the only way I think standalone movies work is if the villain also functions as like an anti-hero, kind of like how Magneto does in X-Men. Okay. Like if Magneto had his own standalone movie, I think I would like that because he doesn't necessarily function solely as a villain. He functions as an anti-hero. Like he's someone that does bad things, but you can sympathize with why he does them.
I agree with that.
I don't really get that kind of vibe from Venom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the kind of this? Isn't Deadpool really like an anti-hero?
Yeah,
Deadpool. He's an anti-hero.
And the Punisher,
yeah. They're all exactly. So people like that can't have a standalone movie if you act as an anti-hero. I agree with that 100%. But Venom is strictly a villain. Why does he need? What are you gonna do?
Okay, so now that I'm thinking about this and hearing like what you're saying and what your problem is with it, the way that the symbiote works, I think it's called symbiote, is that symbiote. It just takes over his mind. Flash isn't like, or whoever Venom's going to be, isn't necessarily wanting to do these things.
That makes sense.
But it's just taking over. So we could see kind of a struggle.
Doesn't Venom take over like a reporter who's a rival of Peter Parker? And that's why, because he also holds a grudge against Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. So
you mean like Eddie Brock?
Yeah, Eddie Brock.
That's the symbiote as well. And like you're right about how the symbiote takes over. And what it does, it's supposed to enhance like everything, aggression particularly, and like whatever is troubling whatever's troubling that person. That's the desire that they most act on. So for Eddie Brock, since Peter Parker was a rival photographer, like that's the most frustrating thing to him. One of the most frustrating things, the symbiote took over and it's killed Peter Parker. With this standalone Venom film, they said Flash is gonna be the Venom.
They didn't say that. I'm saying that he's been Venom before.
Oh, okay.
When? Like in comics?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Agent.
So I see what you're saying. You could develop it with the symbiote being, since he doesn't necessarily want to do it, but you can only do that for like so long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say you do a trilogy of this.
And then, but I mean, like even just one movie, like you can like have the struggle, but like at the end, it's really just a movie of him doing bad stuff.
Yeah, I still don't get.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because Venom is not going around saving anybody. Venom's not really.
Who's gonna stop him?
It's just him struggling against the symbiote, and then just like, oh, I kill people. Like there's no kind of like what I'm saying with the anti-hero is like they do bad stuff, but you get the hero type of. They have hero moments. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Venom, I can't think of any hero moments from Venom or how you could. How you could get that from him. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I mean, if you don't agree,
I mean, I don't. He's gonna be in his mind the whole movie.
I don't know what he could do really.
No. Like someone has to stop him.
Yeah. Exactly my point.
They need the rights, and I don't know how it's gonna work. No. It's gonna be confusing.
Maybe they'll have Daredevil stop
the poor
him.
Audience.
But Daredevil is under Marvel too, so they'll have an X-Men stop him.
Okay.
There you go. Boom.
It's so weird.
Maybe Fantastic Four will make a reboot or something.
Fantastic Four is trash.
Oh
Lord, let's not even speak on that.
It's just because they're not in Marvel's hands. If they were, that would also be a good movie.